Oh, I actually got paired instantly there as soon as I hit the button. So this is round 3. I'm currently 2-1 against Mr. Zaraktai. Yeah, let's go with Zaraktai. This turn I'm gonna jam Patron of Tarsus and Zombie Titan. My opponent played a Brood Horror, which means the Zombie Titan probably beats mine. So maybe I should just level the Blightwalker instead. Patron doesn't really do anything here. I could play Aether Tap Shaman. That's a pretty decent card. Okay, let's play Aether Tap Shaman, because if he plays a Zombie Titan, and then my Zombie Titan actually loses to it, because his will be a 7/7. This way, at least Aether Tap Shaman doesn't lose to his Zombie Titan. Oh, and I drew the other Patron immediately? That's pretty nice. What I can do here is after he plays 2 creatures, I can play Patron and Glimmer, which is Brood Horror, so I don't have to block it. Granted, I have to figure out where I'm putting these creatures, but I'll figure something out. Okay, there's the Abyssal Brute. So now if he plays Zombie Titan, it technically beats mine, but he doesn't know I have another Patron in my hand. Crucible Colossus? What is this? Okay, that card's quite strong. So now what I'm going to do is shrink it so that... I wasn't expecting the... Okay, I'm trying to think. Sorry, I wasn't expecting the Abyssal Brute into large creature. So what I want to do is play Patron, shrink his guy, goes to 7, then play Infernal Visage to pump my Patron so it lives against Abyssal Brute, and my Aether Tap Shaman lives against Crucible Colossus. And it gets to kill his next creature. I think that's my best play, right? Yeah. For sure. I could move my Aether Tap Shaman, but I want that 9 damage on his sideline creature. It makes it really difficult for him to play a sideline creature that actually matters. Because I can always clean it up with Scourge Knights. Like if one of my creatures lives here, I could play Scourge Knights in formation and shrink whatever he plays. And he can. I guess he can. Okay, Contagion Fiend. That kills my Patron of Tarsus, but it's a really weird card to play because it doesn't actually do that much else. So he kills all my creatures, so I don't get to play Scourge Knights in formation, but don't know if that matters because he only has a 4/3 in play. It goes to my turn. I can play Death Seeker here, and then Scourge Knights in the... I have Zombie Titan in my deck, right? No, I've already played it. Let's play Scourge Knights in the side lane. Just so if I draw the other Scourge Knights, I can formation it. Didn't draw the other Scourge Knights. It doesn't matter that much. My last hand was not the best. I could have played like Great Pact, Progeny, or a Lava Fused Aesir, but those cards aren't really things I want to be doing. Lava Fused Aesir is definitely like the antithesis of my deck because I'm a very, very hard control deck. But what Lava Fused Aesir does is lets you push in damage. So I couldn't really... Those 2 things don't overlap. If I want to kill his Spirit token, I can play Plunder Imp and Infernal Visage. And since he didn't play a second creature and my other play is Demon Web Watcher, I think that's the play. It forces him to put another creature in front of Scourge Watch, and I get to see his hand with Plunder Imp, take his level 2 Contagion Fiend, which he seems to like playing, so we'll just take it from him. And the level 3 one is super annoying to deal with. He can still block this profitably with a Loy Engine roll, but at least that way he doesn't give my creatures -X. And then I can play Patron of Tarsus, kill his whatever he blocks the Scourge Knights with, the zombie token, and shrink his next creature, plus kill it with Scourge Knights, or play Plunder Imp, depending on if I want to beat down or if I want to control a little more. It just really depends on the way he plays. Generally, I like playing Scourge Knights. Okay, so he's just blocking without any value. If I want to keep my 8/7 around, I could shrink it with Scourge Knights, but I think it's going to be better to play Plunder Imp. And I'll just... Do I have 2 Scourge Knights in my deck or just 1? I think I have 1. Yeah, just... Okay, so I have... Yeah, the other Scourge Knights is only level 1. So I'm just going to play Plunder Imp in the... The hard thing about having as... Oh, I didn't level the Zombie Titan, so if I draw one of my 2 leveled Infernal Visages, I definitely want this card in the side lane. And then I'll take his... All these cards are garbage. This is a level 2 card, though, so I'll take it. I wonder what his last card is. If his last card is good, he might get me with the, I don't even know. I'm just going to play Aether Tap Shaman, Warhound Cursor, and Infernal Visage this turn. It's by far my best play. Infernal Visage gives +4/+4 in Region 2, which makes my Plunder Imp a 14/13 to Regen. It makes this a little smaller. It'll be a 13/10 or 13/12. You just sap my creature. Why do these people think sap is playable? I mean, I'm gonna replace it because he should have killed it, but he didn't. What's his next play like? Battletech Inventor to shrink the Patron of Tarsus? That's what I would shrink. Because if you're doing 3 damage to this, there's no point also like putting damage on it. Anyway, let's go ahead and replace this. Is that actually just better than playing Infernal Visage? Infernal Visage gives me 4 damage. Yeah, we'll just play. Let's diversify my threats a little. Play both of my cards and then Infernal Visage so that he has to block the Plunder Imp again, which he's already sapped it, so he probably doesn't want to block it again, just out of principle. But he's gonna have to because it's dealing 4 to him a turn. I'm actually gonna Ride of the Grim Gauntlet here if he doesn't deal with it, because that forces him to deal with a level 1 creature that has Region 3, not Region 2, but Region 3. And so putting a Ride of the Grim Gauntlet on that's gonna be really, really good. Especially if he doesn't draw it. Especially if I draw the other Infernal Visage. Or if he doesn't want to deal with it. Like if he wants to deal with the 6/7 or the 14/12 I haven't played. Those are probably going to be a little higher priority. Especially since this one's harder to kill. It has 11 health and 3 regen. What I'm going to play this turn is Rite of the Grim Gauntlet on my dog, on my imp. Yeah, so he kills my dog here. Or I guess next turn, since... What are these people with like 2 Contagion Fiends? It's an epidemic. Okay, well, since he actually dealt with my board and I don't get any pumps for free off my Plunder Imp, I think I'm going to just jam some Rot Fiends in play. Because if he plays a 10 power creature, I'm going to feel real stupid. Why Rite of the Grim Gaunting that? Or even a Cold a Week. Oh sweet, I drew the other Patron. That's really good. Now if he tries to deal with my Rot Fiends, I will clean up whatever he blocks with. He's a control deck, right? He's played a bunch of Contagion Fiends, Grave Packs, and Aloyan cards. But I'm also a control deck, but I'm actually killing him while I'm doing things. That's what you want in a control deck. You don't want to just debuff them or kill their creatures. You want to make sure you're putting your own creatures into play while you're doing that. Because if you're not doing that, you're not winning. Like you have to kill them. You can't just kill their creatures and win the game. You have to reduce their health to 0 and win the game to win the game. Like that's why Patron of Tarsus is such a good card. Because it comes into play, shrinks all your opponent's creatures if you have like almost all Necroom cards. That just trades. Oh no, it doesn't, because he's got the Abyssal Bird. Well, it still dies to my Patron. Both of these cards die to Patron. See how good this is? Like if he like imagine if this card were a spell, like if it were Virix Embrace, right? I could kill either of these creatures. Let's imagine it's Epidemic, because that's a lot more analogous. Epidemic level 2 is -4/-4 to each creature they control, and Epidemic's a really good card. But if this were Epidemic, it would kill both of his creatures, but I wouldn't get a creature into play. So that means I'd have to play like this Gloom Reaper Witch, and then I'd have a 5/5 in play, in addition to killing his guys, which is pretty good. Because Epidemic's a very strong card, it affects multiple creatures. But the problem with playing like 1/1, a bunch of 1/1 removal, like if this were Virix Embrace, I would have to Virix Embrace his Brood Horror, then block with Gloom Reaper Witch. Or Virix Embrace his Abyssal Bird and block with Gloom Reaper Witch. Then I'd have to deal with his Brood Horror pumped creatures next turn, and I only played a 5/5 last turn. Whereas Patron of Tarsus is really good because it kills all the creatures, and is a 9/7, and I get to play another card. In this case, it's going to be Gloom Reaper Witch. So I'm winning the game while I'm removing his threats, which is significantly better than simply removing threats. Like, do you see how I'm only playing 1 Cold a Week, 1 Grave Pact, and 1 Virix Embrace because I avoided taking those cards, because while they do kill creatures, they don't always kill creatures. They're pretty situational. and they don't help you in the game. You need creatures to win the game. I actually want to keep this Plunder Imp alive, but it doesn't look like it's gonna happen. Yeah, it's not really gonna happen. I can actually Aether Tap Shaman it. Play Aether Tap Shaman and Infernal Visage to. Okay, that Grave Pact is pretty good. What did he Grave Pact there? What did he target? I don't even remember what card was there. That was a Aether Tap Shaman, right? Something like that. Oh, it was a Plunder. That was a Zithian Rot Fiend. So he killed my 7/8 instead of my 9/7? What the heck? That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, we'll just play Aether Tap Shaman here, and then block his Abyssal Brute with Gloomreaper Witch. Because it'll go to slightly less. It'll take a. If I draw the level 3 patrons, it'll be a little better for me than blocking with a 16 power creature. I want to put this card on the offense, because there's no point in me sacrificing my level 3 to kill his level 3 when I have double his health. What I can do now is block the Abyssal Brute with my Rot Fiend, and then play hopefully Rite of the Grimgaunt on my Aether Tap Shaman. Like, I'm assuming he deals with this card, this 9/7. So then I can play Rite of the Grimgaunt on this, move it away from whatever he wants to block. Okay, just like straight ignoring my Aether Tap Shaman, which is interesting. Don't think he can afford to do that. But he is, so I'm gonna play Rite of the Grimgaunt, move this card by 1 in case I draw that level 2 Scourge Knights I have in my deck, which I haven't seen in a while, but I know is still there. And then play Rot Fiend, so 4 creatures are dying this turn, which makes this a 2019? Oh, sorry, excuse me, my Glimmer Witch didn't actually die, so it's only a 1918. Then I can play Plunder Imp in front of his Spirit Token to eat that up, then Rot Fiend, either blocking or in an open lane, depending on what he does. I didn't draw a spell. Drawing a spell would have been really strong, because then I could have just moved my Aether Tap Shaman out of the way of whatever he tries to put in front of it. But I don't actually have that many spells in my deck. I just have the Infernal Visage, the Grave Pact, and the Cold Week. And I guess Varric's Embrace would have been fine. Anyway. My phone just yelled at me a lot, because there was some sort of alert. Okay, so that kills my Gloomreaper Witch and debuffs my Aether Tap Shaman, so it's going to be a 13/18. Which still kills his Crucible Colossus, so he has to deal with it still. He has to put another card into dealing with this. And then I'm going to play Plunder Imp to kill his guy, because I do want to kill a 13/13. There's no point in taking 13 over and over and over and over again if I can deal with it. Both of these cards are garbage, but I'll take the Festering Slime, which is slightly less garbage. I'm going to have Deathseeker here, because this is so much value. If this card lives, I get a 5/5. Isn't that just worse than Zithian Rot Fiend, though? I mean, yeah, it is worse. Okay, fine. I'll play the Zithian Rot Fiend, because that way when it dies, instead of having a 5/5, I'll have like, a 12 something. I drew the Infernal Visage is kind of a little too late. Basically just Infernal Visaging a Plunder Imp. Though if he doesn't have a creature with 11 power, which is not that unlikely because he hasn't played anything with significant power. He's got the Crucible Colossus, I think was the biggest card he played. I don't think he played Contagion Lord. I know he played Contagion Fiend once, and I took it once. I don't remember what he's got. Brood Horror has 15 power. You can block with Brood Horror. Or maybe a level 2 Alolan General plus a card. That would kill my 16/11 as well. I mean, he definitely has to block both of these creatures, because this he's at 15 and I have 2 16 power creatures plus the 12 power creature. So he has to somehow deal with all of these cards, and with very limited tools. He doesn't have very much that. Like, this is why I like Deathseeker and especially Grove Matriarch, because it blocks twice. Like, if you're really far behind, you can always block with Grove Matriarch, deal some damage. Then the next turn it makes a Seedling and then blocks again. Deathseeker is like the same thing, but in reverse. He starts out as a 1/1 and then gets big. I wish he were actually a lot bigger. I wish the Spirit were a lot bigger. Like, if it were a 6/6, 11/11, 16/16, I think that would be really good. and really balanced too, because you're not guaranteed the upfront spirit, and there are a lot of 5/5, 10/10, 15/15s that don't require you to put a human into play first, because sometimes being a 1/1 is a downside. Like you don't want to use pump spells on a 1/1 because it just dies. Anyway, we're gonna pause because he might be timing me out, and I don't want to be waiting 5 minutes for him to time out while I'm just rambling on about random stuff. So I'll unpause in a couple seconds. Okay, finally decides to play a Steel Spark Tinker, which is garbage. Doesn't really do anything. Doesn't prevent him from losing. I'm curious what he levels here. Like why he thought this card was going to be better than his other options. Okay, saps my Rot Fiend, so now he just dies to Plague Imp. And the card didn't deal with. So like, why did he take so long to do that? Anyway, we'll just move right along. I'm currently 3-1, I believe, on this one. Let's see. Oh, there's my 3 wins of the day reward. 2 tickets from the doubled rewards that they're going out for 2 weeks now. Until the 23rd of June. It's currently the 16th. The day I'm recording this. So, yep, 3-1. So I'll see you all for the next round.